Another strong impact shook the central structure of the cathedral. The attack was more powerful than the previous one, which meant it was just a matter of time until they would surpass Erynnes' mystical defenses. Somehow, these creatures had discovered the existence of the sanctuary and its prisoner. Those who lurk in the shadows had lost their leader not long ago, and they probably thought that the entity sealed in the cathedral would allow them to rise against the world for a second time. Rammatek had lived his whole life within these walls. Despite his childish reticence, he had come to love them as much as he loved all the people who were at his side. It was ironic that only now, when everything was in danger, he realized his true feelings. The priest was not a normal person and was perfectly trained. Acting swiftly, he went to the chambers where the prisoner was locked and began diverting part of the supernatural power of the seals to the external protections of the building. It was a risky move, but would allow Erynnes to resist the attack with minimal effort. Just an instant before the system was activated, a huge explosion destroyed the entire cathedral, causing the whole place to come down, crushing Rammatek and everything around him.
Baby? There's something I have to tell you. There's a library card in the back of me, and I'm long overdue.
Just shut up, please.
That's an Nexus Guardian, babe. Keepers of primordial supernatural cores. I wonder what it could be protecting. Babe, the Guardian, he had something different. I noticed it when I absorbed its existence. A magic formula codex. Very primitive, but linked to the seals of this place.
Add the formula to our magic. With any luck, it'll resonate with the seals in this place. Maybe we'll be able to activate them now. Do you know
As I
Terrified, Rammatek tried to move, but his body was trapped by debris. Above him, the bloody meat mass of the prisoner, impaled by some broken columns, writhed and twisted, tearing its flesh. The blood of the creature began to spout from its wounds, and Rammatek could only watch helplessly as it slipped between the fallen stones towards him. After a few seconds that felt like a lifetime, the blood spilled over his face and ran down his forehead to reach the corners of his eyes. Blinded, the priest screamed in pure horror until everything fell silent. When he opened his eyes, the world was not the same anymore. In an instant, the rocks that blocked his body became ashes, and the dark form of the priest rose between them. What stood there was no longer a person, not even a mortal being. Rammatek looked at what was left of the prisoner. None of the priests of Erynnes ever understood the truth. That was not a god, only discarded remains. Confused, the priest went to the door, exterminating both the attackers and all the survivors on his way. For him, none of them were people anymore. He saw only blots on the move. That seal. The entrance won't be open much longer. We need to destroy the barrier quickly.
Two more. One more.
Hi again. I'm happy to see that you're okay. I am trying to manifest myself in other rooms, but it's far more complex than I thought. So far, there's only one thing I'm sure of. Some messengers are already on the upper floors, but we are unable to reach them. This place has its own rules. It's not something as easy as simply jumping over there. There must be some way to open the seals that block the entrance to the second floor.
What is your relationship with Ellie and I?
Jealous?
You wish, ergo. But I was wondering why you treat her so differently from the others.
She really is something else. Maybe the only person I respect in the world. She has done some crazy shit. You know why she's like that? Long ago, before even facing me, she sacrificed her own body to destroy an entity which was feeding off of dead gods.
You mean the first war in the shadow?
Yeah, and even in that pathetic half-life status she's in now, that crazy woman was able to face me and lure me into a trap.
The great Ergo Mundus didn't see it coming.
Oh, no. Of course I knew it was a trap. She told me directly. But it was like the throne thing, a matter of principle. I couldn't just ignore the chance to fight the greatest powers in the world, you know.
She outwitted you and you lost.
Let's call it a technical tie.
You lost and ended up sealed in a book.
La 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 la, I can't hear you.
Do you hate Romeo Exet?
It's not hate. I mean, that guy is freaking powerful himself. Probably the most powerful human being I've met since Elle and I respect that. but there is something in him that I despise. That attitude. He behaves as if he is some kind of savior who can't ever be wrong.
Too similar to you?
I'm not human, baby. I am what I am. But that guy, I told you, there's something in him that I can't stand. But what about you? It looks like you are his biggest fan.
He and Lady were the only ones who treated me like a normal girl. He has no qualms calling me his weapon, his instrument. But he was nice to me.
That's just because he's not afraid of me. It's another way to prove that he's better than everyone else. Oh, someday, I wish I could have a chance to kick his ass.
That is something that's not gonna happen.
A book can dream.
It had been 10 years since Rammatek left Erynnes, after what he considered his awakening. With some melancholy, the dark priest stared at the ruins around him. His eyes perceived everything as only he could. An environment in which the material and the spiritual world formed a swirling chaos. That abomination was something that Rammatek had learned to hate, and its mere vision upset him so much that with a slight fit of rage, he destroyed what remained of the central chamber of the cathedral. While fragments of the walls fell around him and turned to ashes, the priest wondered again how he could have been so blind his whole life. Like 1,000 times in the past, he silently thanked his God for blessing him, for opening his eyes to the truth. Existence was a sin. The whole creation must disappear. That absolute truth, which only he understood, had become his gospel, an intrinsic part of his own nature. The world, in its folly, would consider him insane and would try to stop him, but they could not. Nothing could. Someday, he would awaken the only God. Someday, the whole existence would come to an end. That was his destiny.
Babe.
I know. It's him again.
It's too late for Rammatek. I have already destroyed it. You won't be able to reclaim it now.
So you can talk after all. Who are you? Are you one of the messengers?
You are the ones who call me that, but yes, I suppose that you could say that I am one of them.
Are you the one behind all of this? The one who brought us to the tower?
Maybe you really don't know anything. Maybe you are just another pawn. But even then, it doesn't matter. You must be stopped. Your world won't be saved.
You monster!
Enough. We don't have time. This place won't hold itself much longer without Rammatek around.
You leave her out of this. I'm sorry. I know that you want the cool guy spot in this drama. You even brought your own attire. Nice coat, by the way. But the role is already taken.
Dark Messiah, I'm afraid that letting her out won't be possible.
You really don't know who you are messing with, boy.
Let's end this. Your story.
This place, it can't hold itself together anymore.
You were saved by the bell, pal.
And so, the story goes on for you. Just a little more. Girl, you should wonder if you really want to become an instrument of salvation.
What? The dream becomes more lucid. The little girl is inside the huge room. There's nothing there. Only a strange book hanging from the walls wrapped in old chains. Everything has become silent outside. And for a moment, the child thinks that maybe she's finally found a safe place to hide. But she also feels that she is not alone. Slowly, the little girl extends her small arm towards the book. Darkness, wrath, loneliness, everything that fills the place comes from it, and she feels that that book is also lost. Before her little fingers reach the cover, the sound of the door opening behind her makes the child freeze in terror. One of them has found her. And again, the dream becomes a nightmare. Again? This is becoming repetitive.
Yeah, it's losing its edge. Are you okay, baby? You seem to be having a pretty awful dream.
You can bet it was bad. You were in it. And I already told you I don't need you to worry about me.
That's the spirit.
My lady, there's something I need to ask you. We just met a strange messenger who talked about me becoming an instrument of salvation, and Lady said something similar about herself. I was wondering if you had heard something like that before?
In the past, we used that term to talk about people who performed an immeasurable sacrifice to end the war in the shadow. I myself have been called thus, having forfeited my body to stop the first evil. However, I doubt that this can be the same case. He must be talking about something we can't understand yet. If he is alive, maybe it would be wise to inquire about it when you meet him again.